Hey guys, welcome back to the channel again. In today's video, we will be talking about list, dictionary comprehension, break, continue, and pass. And we will look how you can do a exception handling in Python. But before going ahead, just we will have a quick recap what we have done in the previous session. So in the previous session, we were talking about the conditional statements. We did some hands-on about if-else condition and as well as LF, and we were talking about while and for loops, and we did some hands-on there as well. Okay, so this video is a little bit related to what we have done in the previous session. So I will request if you are coming straight to this video, just go and watch the previous session once. So yep, before going ahead, like what is if I talk about list and dictionary comprehension? Okay, so what is list and dictionary comprehension? So let's suppose if I tell you that, okay, give me a list of 10 digit number, okay, which contains 0 to 10 number. Okay, how you will do so? Okay, I will do, you will first create a list. Okay, then what you will do for I in range, and you will do L dot and I. Okay, now you will check. So we have a list of 10 elements, right, from 0 to 9. Okay, so this is how you append anything in list. But what if I tell you that you can do it, do these things in one line? How you will do it? So let me show you. So if you want to do it the same thing in one line, so it will be, okay, so as you can see, and this we have written this long code, right? First we have declared list, and then just we are looping to range, looping through range, and we are appending I in list. Okay, but I did this thing in same line like this, in one line. Okay, what if I told you that give me a list of an even number? So what you will do? Remember I told you this. Okay, now you got a list of even numbers. Okay, so how these things are working? So this is very simple, right? So I hope you got this for I in range, right? This is the same what we have done here. Okay, but after indentation we are appending here, right? So what I'm doing, if you want to append anything, and if you want to get a value, right, you take that, you will get that value from here, from this side. Okay, you will get the value from this side. So here you write the condition or your loop. Okay, this will be executed first. Okay, and this will be executed, and your I will be, you will get your I from here. Just understand on this way. What if I will write this range? Okay, now, okay, I'm checking I to, okay, and then I'm doing append dot I. So what is going on here? I'm looping through range. Okay, then in every loop I'm checking if I is divided, if I divide I by 2, I'm getting remainder as 0 or not. If yes, if yes, then append that in the list. If it is, if it is not 0, then do not append it. Okay, same thing I'm doing here. What I'm doing, if you will write like this, like let's do, if I will write let's do, okay, for I, let's suppose, just forget. Okay, let write one thing only. For I in range, okay, 10, okay. And if you will try to get the value from here, right, it will give you error. So what you will do, if you want to have a I, if you want to check, like if you want to get the value from your loop, you you have to write I here, okay. Now you will get all your values from 0 till 9, okay. You got it. Now if you want to write a condition, okay, let's suppose I divided by 2 is equal to 0, okay. What will happen, that first it will execute this, and then it will check it's if it whether there is a condition or not. If there is a condition, then it will execute this, and then from here itself you will get your I, okay. So now if I will execute it, so see, you have your event digit, okay. So and when you write this pattern, okay, when you write code code and this pattern, that becomes comprehension, okay. So if you will write your code in this pattern or like in this style, so this is your list comprehension. Same as when you, if I tell you that give me the dictionary with the square root from 0 till 9 element, how you will do that. So let's see from like like from how you can do it in like a simple way, okay. So you will write, first you will declare a dictionary, okay. I declared a dictionary, okay. Then I will take a loop for I in range, okay. And then what you will do, this I and I multiply by I, okay. Now see, you got your square root, right, from 0 till 9. But what do you, if you have to do it in one line, let's see how you can do it. So I will write the same condition for I in range 10, and I will do I multiply by I. See, in both the way you're getting your square values, okay, from 0 till 9, okay. So this is your list comprehension and dictionary comprehension. And now if I talk about break, continue, continue and pass, okay. What is this? So before that, just I will do one thing for I in range, okay, 10, and if I is equal to 3, break, okay. And one more thing, break. Then one more condition is here. Let's suppose I write for I in range, for I in range, I is equal to 2, continue, print I, okay. And I will write one more condition. for I in range, if I is equal to 4, and then we'll do pass. Okay, let's write print I here as well, and I will write print I here as well. Okay, just focus here for a while. Okay, I'm executing this one, the break loop first. Okay, so see what happened. Okay, and then I will execute this. Okay, and then I will execute this. What is the difference here? What is the difference here? What is the difference here? And what is the difference here? Just look at and just try to observe what is the difference. Okay, I will tell you. So what break says, okay, break mean that just like just terminate that thing. Okay, terminate that thing. What that might mean, like, okay, so it is looping. Okay, on the first iteration I got 0, then I got 1, and then I got 3, sorry, 2. Okay, and in second iteration I got 3. So if I is equal to 3, okay, 3 is equal to 3, right, then break. That break if there is written break, right, it will terminate. All the things will be terminate. It will terminate the loop. Okay, it will not go beyond. It will just terminate that thing. So what is happening here? It is on the first iteration I'm getting 0, and second iteration I'm getting 1, on third iteration I'm getting 2, right? And on the fourth iteration, when the value of I is equal to 3, okay, this condition is getting satisfied. Okay, then inside this condition, inside this if loop, right, you have written, I have written like break. Okay, so break is doing just, it is terminating all the things. It is terminating all the things. Okay, so your loop will be terminated. It will not go beyond. Okay, now what is the difference here? If you can see, observe it. So I will tell you what is the difference. Okay. So on the first iteration, it is the value of I is 1. On the second iteration, the value of I is 1. Okay. On the third iteration, the value of I is 2. When 2 is equal to 2, right? Then it is written continue. Continue will just skip that iteration. Okay, it will skip what like it is it, when you have written continue here, right, it will skip all the things what we have written below that continue for the one time. Okay, so as you can see that like, on it is printing 0, it is printing 1, and it is not printing 2. Why it is not printing 2? Because you have written continue, and when continue is written in your block, it will just skip all the things which is written below at for one time only. Okay, only one time. So in short, if I will tell you, it will skip one time. If you have written I is equal to 2, the condition is getting satisfied. Okay, and you have written continue, then this block of code, let's suppose you have written a lot of code here like this and this. Like, I'm just typing like this. Let's suppose you have written some block of code. Okay, and you don't want to execute that code when the value of I is equal to 2. Okay, so if you have written continue here, right, so it will not print sorry, it will not execute this line of code at one time, or you can say it will skip. If the condition gets satisfied, it will skip for the one time. Okay, or if I will just see this, if I will write, if I will write or I is equal to 3. Okay, so what is happening here? So it is printing 1, it is printing 2, sorry, it is printing 0, it is printing 1, and it is not printing 0 and sorry, 2 and 3. Why? Because at 2 it is getting satisfied, right? then continue it is written, so it will skip this. Okay, then the value of I is equal to 3. Okay, this this condition is getting satisfied because here the condition is or, right? So or, like if there is 0 0, like both hand side 0 0, then it will be 0. If there is one side 1, if any of that condition gets satisfied, that whole condition whole condition will be satisfied. And in below you have written continue, so it will just skip what we have written downwards. Okay, then we have pass. So what that pass mean? Okay, pass mean just pass it. Okay, so just pass, just don't do anything. Do not do anything. If, like, you can see, I'm getting 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, so it means nothing, just pass. Okay, so it will do nothing. It is just let the execution go as it is, the flow as it is. Okay, so I will give you one more example of break. Okay, let's suppose you 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 want to loop. Okay, you want to loop till 55. Let's suppose you have an array. Let's suppose I have an array. No, oh, sorry, array. I'm saying. Let's suppose I have an index list. Okay, let's suppose I have a list of 50 elements. Okay, 50 50 elements. Okay, so what we have in our list, just see, we have 50 elements. Okay, from 0 to 49 we have 50 elements in my list. Okay, so you want to print every element, but you don't want to go beyond 25. So how you will do? So you will just write a condition like this. Okay, in for I in L. Okay, let's suppose I will just print like this. So what it will be print, what it will print. Okay, let's see. So it is printing from 9 to 49, right? So if you want to just go till 15, so what? Just do one thing. What if I is equal to 15? Just continue or just break. Sorry, print. See, you will go till 14, and after that it just break because this condition gets satisfied. Okay, now if you want to go till 25, so let's suppose you just given 25. See, so it will go till 25, and if, like, it is from 0 to 24 you got the value, and if this condition will satisfied, okay, then it will break. So it will not go beyond 25. Okay, let's suppose if you want to print every element. Okay, every element you want to print every element, but you don't want to print odd numbers. How you will do? Let's suppose you have a list, like this is a list, right? Okay, you want to iterate to every element in the list, but you don't want to print the odd numbers. How you will do? Okay, just for I in range. Okay, so for you range I'm writing. Okay, and then if I is divided by 0. Okay, then continue. Okay, print I. You got your odd numbers. So what is happening here? So every time it is checking what? If I is divided by 2 and remainder will be 0, then it is just skipping what you have written. Continue will skip this for the first time. So at 1, now it is here. Okay, at 2, yes, 2 divided by 2 is equal to 0. So you have written continue. What will continue do? Continue will just skip whatever written here or written after. Continue will just skip whatever whatever it is written after. Okay, for the first one time. Okay, every time when the condition is getting satisfied, it is just skipping these lines whatever you have written here. Okay, and in pass it is like nothing will happen, it will say just pass. Okay, now we have exception handling. Okay, so before exception handling, I will tell you what exception handling is. Let's suppose you have written like a lot of code. Okay, you have a block of code, and in that block of code you didn't handle your exception. What exception is actually? So exception is an error, I will say. Okay, which occur like in certain condition, or which occur on like at when you have not handled some condition, or like some exceptional condition. Okay, let's suppose you have written a code of this, like this. You have written a code of division. Okay, let's suppose you have written like this. You have taken an input num. Okay, input number, number. Okay, and then what you're doing, you are just printing num divided by 2. So what you're doing, you're just doing one thing. You are taking the input, okay, from the user, and you're just printing what, like num divided by 2. Let's see, if I will give 8. Okay, it will give you the, like, give you the answer as 4. It will, because 8 divided by 2 is equal to 4. And then if I will do 10, it will give you 5. Okay, okay, but what happened if I will do like this? So error occurs, right? Because you don't know, like in certain condition, because you have written the code for division. Okay, your code is like right, but you didn't you didn't thought, right? Because user can like enter anything, like it is like, even though you have written that enter the number, but user can enter anything, any alphanumeric values or letter, word, anything, right? So in that condition, you can not control user, right? You cannot control user. You can just, you have to handle these things internally. So how you will handle? Because if the error will occur, right? So your whole code will be like disturbed, right? Your whole flow will be disturbed. Because let's suppose it here it is a 2 line of code, right? Like just 1 and 2 line. What if you have a like hundreds lines of code, right? And there you got an error. So how you will handle that? Like in that condition, if one of the error will occur, like you have written the code in very like in like you have just, you think like you handle everything, right? But let's suppose even your even though you have handled or you have written code in a proper way, but there might be chance that exception can be occur, right? So exception mean is like it will occur on like certain condition, or you don't know, like. So what is the best practice to handle the exception? So let's suppose if I will do one thing, I will do one thing. Okay, what is happening here? What happened here? And what I have written in the code and the cell. Sorry. So I just, can you see the difference? How you got that error here like this, and how you got the error here with the proper meaning, right? Like here, even though you got the proper meaning, but how you got the error here and how you got the error here. So when you write like this, right, your whole code will be, your whole flow will be not your whole flow will be not get disturbed, or your whole block of code will be not disturbed, as well as when you have error, right, when you didn't like handle the exception, right. I will tell you what is try and accept. Just see the difference, how the error occurs here and how you got the error here. Okay, so it will give you, it will not give you error, it will give you error, but in a proper way. It will say that, hey, like you can't do it like this is an exception. Okay, so before that, just see what I'm doing here and just try to observe what is happening here. So there is like my mainly like four way. If I will write here, first understand, like, okay, I'm executing this, try to understand what is happening. Okay, I will tell you. So what try means, okay, whenever you have written try, okay, you, the best practice is like whenever you are writing the code, okay, I will suggest you to write the code in try block. Whatever, like if you're writing a simple line of code, just write that in try block here. Okay, so what happened, if try block will execute properly, it will execute, you didn't got any error in the try block. Okay, then it will execute else. Okay, then it will execute else. If there is no error in your try block, then it will execute your else block. Okay, whatever you have written in else block. Okay, if there is an error in your try block, okay, then it will execute the code whatever you have written in except block. Okay, whatever you have written in the except block. Okay, then, and then it will not execute the else block also. Okay, so remember these things. When you have whatever you have written, whatever you have code under your try block, okay, if that code executes successfully, then only it will execute else block. Okay, if your code failed here in try block, then it will execute except block. Okay, and your else block will be not executed. Okay, then what is finally, finally means it will execute always. Like if you have an error in the code, okay, then also finally will execute. If your excepts if you don't have an exception here, let's suppose you have successfully like your code whatever you have written in under try block, okay, execute successfully, even though it will execute finally. And if you have exception in your code, okay, and your exception block is running, even after that, like it will execute finally. So finally means not, finally means it will execute always, it will try to execute that code always. Okay, it, no matter if your code runs successfully or your code got exception or anything, your code will run always whatever you have written here. Okay, whatever you have written here, okay, it will execute always. Okay, but else block of code will run only and only when your try blocks, like run properly. Okay, try to understand this. Like this is a very basic like basic concept. Like if you will try to understand just in a simple word, if your try block under like whatever you have written under your try block runs successfully, then it will execute else block and then finally block, because finally block will execute always. Okay, let's suppose you have an error in your try block under your try block. Okay, then it will execute exception block. Okay, else block will be not executed and then it will execute finally. So let's suppose I will show you same example. Okay, I will create an exception. Just see what I have to. I will just remove t. Okay, because print is not any function or anything, right? Print is a function by which you can print anything. Okay, print is nothing. Okay, see here. What is this? Bye bye. Okay, bye bye. Okay, and then we have bye bye, like bye here and bye bye, because the print you got an exception here in try block, then it will execute except block what you have written in except block, and then it will get the finally blocks. And what is happening here, what was happening here in try block and the above one, like here, so there was no error. Okay, so this got executed. Okay, and your except will be not executed because the try block was successfully executed, and then your else will be executed. Okay, one last time I'm telling. Okay, try to listen very carefully. What I'm trying to tell you, that whatever you have written under the try block, it will execute that first. If you got an error there, okay, then it will run whatever you have written under except block. Okay, and then it will execute finally, because finally will execute always, no matter whether you have an error or not. Okay, if this code will execute properly, okay, you don't got any error here, then it will execute whatever you have written under else block. This block will be not executed. Okay, and then this block will be executed. Okay, and here if you got an like in under this block, I have created one exception. I have written print hey. Print hey, nothing. That means nothing in Python. Print is the function by which you can print anything, but in print you can't do anything. Okay, so here you got an exception. Okay, there's an error. Okay, then this block of code got executed, and then this block of code got executed. So you got this and this. Now, how you use it? So let's suppose you like you might know or might not know. Okay, you have written that condition like under try block. Okay, you have written your code like in a in a sequential manner. Okay, you have written a code in a sequential manner. Okay, and in exception, let's suppose you have written some line of code. Okay, but you have some block of code which you want to execute anyhow you just have to execute it, no matter what, if there is an exception uh, occurs or not. Like let's suppose you have a block of code. Okay, let's suppose you want to just do one thing. You have a list. Okay, let's suppose I have a list. Let's do. Okay, mm, let's suppose for I in range n. Okay, what we have in list 2, this I got. Okay, and now we will write try. Okay, try to do what? Try to just go, just do one thing. L dot pop or list 2 dot pop. Okay, stu.pop. And pop. Okay. Finally, just execute it. Okay. So what is happening? Here I will write print list. Okay. So whatever, like let's suppose I run the code for the first time. Okay. Sorry, list two will be here, right? List two and list two. Okay. In my list two, I have 0 till 9 elements, right? In total, I have 10 elements from 0 to 9. Okay. Let's suppose I will execute this block of code one time. Okay. So 9 is removed and we have till 8 and just executed the code. It is coming from finally block. Okay. Then 7, then 8, 6, and then 5, then we have 4. Okay, then we have 3, and then we have 2, then we have 1, and then we have, like, if I will execute one more time, it will have only one uh, element now. Okay, and if we will pop, okay, now we have empty list. Okay, and if I will execute, okay, so we don't have any element in the list 2 right now. Okay, and if I will try to pop, right, it will give you an error because there is no element in the list. Okay, now what, see what will happen. Okay, so as I told you, right, there was nothing in the list. Okay, so and you were trying to we were trying to pop the element. So when I did pop, right, the it create an error, right, and an error, then it got and it the error occurred here in this block. Then I told you, right, if there is an error in your try block, then this this except block will be ran, okay, or executed. So you cannot pop, right, and then and finally, and during this during, like, whenever I was executing this block of code, this whole block of code, right, you might be noticed, like, in every time this block of code was running every time, like, just executed the code, just executed the code, just executed the code. Okay, so yeah, this is how you, like, do exception handling, right? Okay, let's suppose you want to know the reason. Okay, why I can't, like, suppose this is like what I have written. Okay, so just l- capture the exception. How you can capture the exception? Like this: except exception as e. You can write e, a, b, anything, right? Or just return, return or print or anything you can do. Just return e, or just print. I will say there is no in print e. Okay, pop from an empty list. Okay, so it is giving you the reason. Okay, what is the exception? So what is the exception here? Pop from the empty list, and you can write here anything, right? Like, if you will write v here or anything, right, or you can write way like error as well, error. Okay, so you can give any name. Okay, so pop from the empty list. Okay, so this is how you handle the exception. Now what if you want to, like, raise any exception? If you want to raise anything, raise the value error, or raise something, right? How you can do it? So how you can do it, like this way: I have code, Okay, I will show you. Not divided by zero. What is this? This is a raise. If you want to raise an exception, okay, if you want to raise an error in certain condition or in certain when you have written a code and you want to manually raise an exception. Let's suppose I have written num1 and 1 plus 1, okay, print 2, right? But if I want to raise it, raise value error, okay, num 3. So this is how you can raise your error as well. You can predefine, like uh, I can say anything, this, and it. Okay. And let's suppose I'm just writing anything, right? So don't be. I will just do this as an digit and two. So this is your manually uh, uh, exception or error, you will say. So this is how you can do a exception handling. Okay. So, yep, this is all I want to tell you. Like today, like I already told you, right? What is list comprehension? What is dictionary comprehension? Then what is break? And then what is pass, continue, and then how you can do a exception handling and how you manually can just raise an error. Okay, there you can. I think like there is a library you can import. Uh, like exception or value, just like we have written a value error, right? I think there might be a library, I don't remember right now, I will tell you. Okay, so you can raise more exception or there are many varieties, I guess. So yeah, you can raise an error from there as well. So yeah, this is what I want to tell you. I will give you a quick recap what we have done. Okay, so first we were talking about list, okay, list comprehension. So this is list comprehension, okay. So this pattern, okay, this pattern, and then we have dictionary comprehension, okay. When we talked about break, what break will do? Break will just terminate your loop, okay. When the condition gets satisfied, and if you have written break there, it will terminate everything. So you can see like 0, 1, 2, okay. At 3, the condition got satisfied, so it break down everything, okay. It terminated the loop. What continue will do? Continue will just skip one time. Whatever the code written after continue, it will skip that code if the condition gets satisfied only one time, not always, just one time. So as you can see, 0, 1. At 2, the condition got satisfied, it is not printing anything. Then 3, the condition got satisfied, it is not printing anything. Okay. Then 4 and 5, everything is getting printed out. Pass is just pass it, just pass it. It will do nothing. Okay. Then what we have done? And then we have, yep, then we just did some hands-on on like break and continue, and then we have num. Like what we were doing here. Okay, we were talking about try and accept block, right? How you can do it, like how you can try to handle exceptions and all that. So yep, and else is also here. You might be thinking I didn't give you the example of else, so you just think in that way, right? If you have anything after try block and if you want to run that thing, okay, once your try block is executed, let's suppose you have written something which is dependent, okay. Let's suppose you have like this, okay. Let's suppose you have written something, num is equal to mm, I plus I, okay. Okay, and then here you want to print num, okay. So just think in that way. You have some code, okay, some block of code here, some block of code here, sorry, some block of code here, which is dependent on the try block, okay. So if your try block get like ran successfully or executed successfully, then and only like if you want to like execute this block, okay. If this block of code got an error or got any exception, you don't want to run this block as well. Okay, so you will write those dependent code here. Okay, so once this will execute successfully, this will this line of code will be executed successfully. So yeah, so this is how you can do an exception handling. So if you're getting confused, right, or if you're thinking like something is going like beyond your head or anything, just remember one thing: you might be like not in a good practice. So I will suggest you just practice more and more, because these things are very basic. Okay, so don't worry, just practice more. I will meet you in the next video. Till then, take care.